Hello everybody, it's Elena, and in today's video we are building this pretty big family house in Sulani, and this is a beach house, obviously. I think it's so cute. I had a lot of fun making it, and I love Sulani so much. It's definitely one of my favorite worlds. I feel like I say that every time I build something in Sulani, but I love it so much. But yeah, when I started building this house, I did not know if I wanted to make it a regular old residential home or a rental home, but I kind of ended up settling on something in between those two things, and I feel like that sounds a little bit weird, so I'll explain that in just a little bit, because I really didn't know what I wanted to build, or I mean, I knew that I wanted to build something like fun and beachy in Sulani because I was just like in that mood, but I didn't know if I wanted to do like a rental or residential, as I said. So in my head, the family that owns this house is like pretty rich, and they probably live in another world. Normally, like, they live in Willow Creek, or I kind of get the feeling that they live in one of those like fancy expensive apartments in San Myshuno. So I feel like they live there most of the time, but then they also own this house. And I know that sounds a little bit weird because you cannot just own vacation homes in The Sims 4, but recently I found out about this hack. So if you have either the cats and dogs pack or get to work or dine out, you can either like purchase a vet clinic, a restaurant, or a retail lot in The Sims 4, obviously. What was I saying? I don't know. But yeah, you can purchase one of those three things, and then you can just like not make it a vet or whatever, and you can just own the property and stay there for a few days at a time, and then it's like a vacation home, and it's so cool. I feel like that's such a cool hack. Like, obviously it's not the same thing as just owning a like second home, I suppose, but I think it's really cool that you can do that, and I never thought about that, and I don't remember who I heard that from, but I think I heard it in a speed build one time. Anyway, I just think it's so cool, and I definitely imagine that the family that lives in this house is, like I said, a really like rich family, and then they just own this property and they go on vacation here probably like a few times a year, and I feel like that sounds so cool and so like nice. I would love to do that. Yeah, I would love to have like a nice beach home in a world like Sulani, but I don't have that. But yeah, if you don't want to like go with that little story, I suppose, you can obviously just either download this house and play with it as a rental house and turn it into a rental lot, obviously, or you can play with it as a residential lot, because it definitely works for both of those things. But I imagine that the family that owns this property is a family of 5 Sims? No, 6 Sims. So 2 parents and 4 children, a teenager, 2 kid-sized, no, aged Sims, okay, not sized. Ugh. I always like feel the need to say kid-sized Sims and when I say that, but it's not kid-sized, it's kid-aged. Okay, anyway, whatever, I'm stupid. It's fine. But yeah, and a toddler. I forgot to say that. My head is like all over the place right now. I'm so sorry. Anyway, but yeah, a family of 6 Sims. The toddler and one of the children share a bedroom, and they have like, oh my goodness, so I was really excited to decorate their room because I had this plan to give it like a fish and sea theme, because you know it's a beach house, so I felt like it was kind of fitting. So I wanted to do that, and I went with the wallpaper with the little fish on it from Parenthood. I don't know if you know what I'm like talking about, but there's a like swatch on one of the wallpapers from Parenthood with like little fish on it, and I think it's so cute, so I went with that one, and I was so excited to go in to like furnish that bedroom, and I'm pretty sure it's the first thing I did when I like went inside this house and started furnishing it, because I was just so excited about it. But then I looked through the catalog and whatever, and I realized that we definitely do not have a lot of fish and beach and sea related things in The Sims 4, which was so sad, and it just made me really sad. So I didn't really manage to make it like full-on ocean theme, I suppose, and like underwater animal theme, which is what I wanted to go for, but I did like add some fish items, those that I could find, and I did do some like watery things, I suppose, but yeah, it just did not turn out the way that I wanted it to turn out. Oh well, it's fine. And then I decorated the other kids' room, and that's just like a room for one child, and I made it a mermaid themed room which I think is so cute. And once again, we don't really have a lot of like mermaid themed things in The Sims 4, which is kind of sad because like we have mermaids in this game, but we don't have a lot of mermaid items. Like what? So I ended up downloading some paintings from the gallery with some mermaids on them, and I think those are so cute. So I used those in the room, and then I used, I don't know if you've like seen this item in the debug catalog or in the live edit catalog, I suppose, but there's this like giant mermaid tail from Island Living, and it's really huge. So I sized it down like a lot, and I ended up having to use the tool mod to size it down like even more because it was just that big. So I couldn't just use the in-game downsizing tool or whatever. But yeah, I used that because I thought it was cute to have that in the Little Mermaid themed bedroom. And I think it turned out really cute. But yeah, it definitely was not as mermaidy as I wanted it to be because we did not have a lot of mermaid stuff. But it's fine, it's fine. And then the third bedroom, like the bedroom for the teenager, I didn't really go for like a theme in that room. I just like figured that the teenager is kind of like going through, you know, teenagehood, and they don't really like want to spend that much time with their family, and I figured that they like to read a lot, so I gave them a bookcase and like a reading nook in their room. And I feel like their entire personality is that they like to read, so they just spend a lot of time in their room even when they're on vacation and whatnot, and they just read because they don't really want to hang out with the rest of the children because, you know, they're like young and annoying, and that's not very fun when you're a teenager, right? You know? Yeah. So that's just like a little bit of a story about the children. I don't really know about the parents. I went with like a pretty modern style on the inside, which is not something I normally do when I decorate in Zulani, so I figured that I wanted to change it up a little bit this time, and I think it ended up being pretty cute. And it's like very bright and white and like rich people like, I suppose. Yeah. But anyway, I did a really bad and stupid and dumb thing when I built this house, and it's something I did when I decorated the patio. Well, I did multiple stupid things, but anyway, the biggest and dumbest thing that I did is on the patio. So I don't know if you can tell or if you've like noticed what it is yet, but I'll give you a few seconds. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so the hot springs item from Snowy Escape that I put on the patio, yeah, you cannot enter it. You cannot get in there because with the way that I designed the patio, you definitely cannot get in there because the like way, or the, I don't know, I guess like the entrance or whatever is right where the water starts or where the patio ends, so you cannot possibly get in there. But for some reason I thought in my little stupid woman brain that you could get in there from the side of it, but that is in fact not possible. So basically I ended up just like blocking off the entire thing, and I planned the entire patio around that stupid thing, so I basically just made it like unusable. So when I was playtesting this house, I was like really upset about the fact that I couldn't get in there, and for the longest time I didn't realize why I couldn't get in there or get my Sims to go in there. But I also realized that I couldn't really go anywhere on the patio, which was really annoying, and that made me realize, I just said realize so many times, I'm sorry, but I realized that I could not really go anywhere on the patio, which was because I put a lot of items underneath it, and for some reason that blocks the items or something. Like if you put items under the foundation with the tool mod, you can't use the items, I suppose. I don't know, because you're not like actually supposed to be able to put things under there. It's just because I did it with the tool mod. I quickly realized that you couldn't use those items, and it was because of the rocks and the landscaping and everything like that that I put under the patio. So I ended up removing basically all of the furniture, or no, not the furniture, the like rocks and whatever, all of the like corals and whatnot that I put under there, that I spent so long putting, you know. Well, I mean, like I moved it a bit, so it's still there, but it's just not under the patio, but it's still like around the house, so it doesn't look weird and empty. And I do feel like I ended up making it pretty cute. But yeah, I like had to fiddle around with that for at least like an hour, or maybe not that, but like half an hour last night when I was done building this house, and it was so frustrating. So I, as I said, removed basically all of the rocks from underneath the house, and then also in the front of the house, I removed all of the landscaping from underneath the house, so everything is now functional, I promise, okay? But I thought that the rocks and the stuff that was placed under the patio and under the foundation was also the reason why my sim could not get into the hot springs item. So for the longest time, I just like sat there and removed rocks and tried to like put them back and put them in like spots where they still looked pretty but they weren't like in the way. But my sim just like kept being like, no, I can't get in the hot springs, whatever, you know? And it took me embarrassingly long to realize that I had blocked off the way to get into the item, and that was just so embarrassing. And it was just really dumb, so I ended up like changing up the patio looks quite a bit, and obviously I didn't record that because by the time I did that I thought I was like done building it, so I was like in the middle of taking screenshots, and then I figured that I should probably like play test the house because it's a good idea to do that. And I'm very glad I did it for this one because like none of the things were functional, you know. That's embarrassing. Basically, like in the screenshots, you will see that for the first or like the exterior screenshots, it does look the way that it looks in the speed build, but then on the gallery, if you decide to download this house, it will look a little bit different on the patio, and in the floor plan screenshots, you will be able to see what kind of like changes that I made to the house and the patio after I was like done changing everything up and whatnot. So I feel like it did definitely change up some things and like kind of ruin it a little bit, but it had to be done because I was a stupid idiot and I'm dumb and ugly and unintelligent and an idiot, yeah. Anyway, it's fine. I fixed it and it's all good now, but it was annoying. Also, sorry for all of the bird noises in the background of this voiceover. I absolutely hate when I've got like background noises in my voiceovers because it's just like so annoying. It just bothers me so much. But I'm not too mad about like bird noises because birds are cute and it kind of like symbolizes that they're happy and spring is here and whatnot, so I'm not too mad about it. And I don't know, bird sounds are just like cozy and calming in my opinion, but I think they have kind of settled down right now because it is getting later. I think it's like, yeah, it's 8 p.m. now, so yeah, I think they have gone home or whatever birds do when they aren't out flying around or whatever. Yeah, anyway, I feel like I messed so much up with this house, but I really like it. I don't know, I was just bad and stupid. However, I do have a story for you for this video, I suppose, because I have something I want to tell you, and now I spent so long talking about this house. Oops, what a dumb little idiot I am. I'm so mean to myself. Sorry, it's fine. But I have to tell you this story about how I accidentally became a criminal the other day, because as you may know, I have been gone for the past few days. I went to go visit my grandparents over the weekend, and then I got home Monday, but I left Friday. And when I like go to my grandparents, I have to like ride a ferry boat because you have to like cross an ocean to get there, right? When I was on the ferry boat, I went to go get coffee with my mom at the little coffee shop on the boat. This coffee shop is not like Starbucks per se. I mean, it's like Starbucks in the like, I don't know, menu. I suppose the menu is very similar to Starbucks's menu, but it's not like Starbucks in the way that you give them your order and then they ask you for your name. And if I were to like give my order, I would say that my name was Helena because that's my name, and then they would write like Jake on the cup, right? That's what they do. However, at this coffee shop, they don't ask for your name, I suppose. I was up there with my mom and she ordered some coffee, and I was under the impression that she was gonna get coffee for the both of us. So I went over to the like place where you get your coffee, where they like give it to you. So I stood there and waited, and then my mom came over to me when she had ordered the coffee, and she told me that she was gonna go to the bathroom and I should just like take the stuff and go to our seats, you know? So my coffee, or like my drink, it came, so I grabbed it, and then I waited for my mom's drink to come, and like a few seconds later, a like large coffee latte arrived on the little table, and I was like all by myself, okay? No one was there waiting with me. I was just all alone. And normally that's like my mom's order. She gets a big latte every time. So I put the lid on this coffee because you had to like put it on yourself. So I did that, and then I took it and went to the table and our seats. And then like a few minutes later, my mom came back to the table and our seats, and she saw that I had my coffee and the other one, and she was like, whose coffee is that? And I said, that's yours, you know? And she was like, no, that's not my coffee. So I just stole it. I stole a freaking coffee, but I don't know whose it was because I was the only one there. Like no one else was waiting for a coffee, and I just took it because I thought it was my mom's, but then I felt really embarrassed that I had stolen a coffee. So I was too embarrassed to go and give it back, and my mom just did it, so I sent my mom up to go give the coffee back. Yeah, that's really embarrassing. It's like when parents go shopping with their toddlers, and then the toddler like takes an item because they don't know that they can't just like take things, and the parent does not notice that the toddler took something, and when they get back to the car, the parent sees that the toddler took something and they did not pay for it, so they go back into the store because they don't want to teach their kid that shoplifting is like a good thing to do. It's bad, you know? So they go back into the store, and it's like the same thing for me. My mom gave my stolen goods back. Except I'm not like a toddler, I'm gonna be 19 next month, so it's the same thing, but it's not the same thing because I'm an adult. Yeah, that's embarrassing. But I don't know whose coffee it was, and I don't know what happened to the coffee because my mom just like put it back on the table and she didn't like draw attention to herself or anything. I don't know if anybody ended up drinking it or whatever happened, but oh well, that's the story of how I became a criminal. I am a thief, an accidental thief, but a thief nonetheless, right? I don't know why I told that story, but I did. I thought it was a fun one. Yeah, anyway. Enough about that though. This video is about to come to an end, so I would just like to say thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you aren't subscribed already and you enjoy my content. I would really appreciate it, but you don't have to. And you can download this house on my gallery. My ID is just LacyLena. And besides all of that, I hope you're having an amazing day, and then I cannot wait to see you all in a few days for my next video. So bye everybody.